Hey everybody. Hey Jim. Yeah, on this episode I am trying to restore the headlights on the X5 and, well, it doesn't work out that well. You be the judge. Yeah, I think I should do an episode where I clean the engine compartment to the X5. A little dirty. And I'm going to be doing these. Look at that. These headlights are just a mess. So I'm going to have to grind them down pretty far. And then polish them again. And then we're going to clear coat them. This is the driver's side. And passenger side. Just bad. The first thing I'm going to do, since we're not going to be removing these headlights from the vehicle, is I'm going to go around and after I clean all of this, I'm just going to probably use some Windex and a clean cloth, and I'll go over all the area here. But then I'm going to take some painter's tape, just some blue masking tape, and I'm going to go all the way around the edges. I want to protect the paint from all of the sandpaper work and all of the buffing and all of that stuff that I'm going to be doing on the plastic part. I want to protect my paint from that. Otherwise, we'll wear right through the edges. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do on the edges is I'm going to put a layer of this blue tape all the way around, to be very careful to actually roll it under the edge here if I can. I need to protect every little bit of this edge and then lay it back some. And then once I have a good layer of this blue tape, which comes off very easily and won't hurt the paint, then I'm going to put a layer of this heavy cloth tape. You don't want to put this directly on your paint. So I'm going to put this tape on top of this tape, and then I'll probably even put another coat of this blue tape. And that way, if I am starting to wear through anywhere, if I'm accidentally starting to cut into my tape, I'll be able to see it really quickly because my blue will wear away and this bright pink will show up. So I'll know before I actually damage my paint job if I've got a problem. At least that's the idea. You can take shorter pieces of this masking tape, and then I have it sticky side up, and I was able to slide it underneath the edge of the paint we're trying to protect all the way back. So then when we start to fold it over and press it down, it goes way up underneath the actual painted surface. So we know we're completely protected there. If you do it little short pieces at a time, and I'm going to do extra protection on these sharp corners that are especially prone to damage. We don't want to wear through the paint doing this to our headlights. A lot of times when I have to go through the mountains of viewer mail I get, fan mail, a lot of times they go sort of like, hey, Scott, why do you wear those stupid-ass yellow glasses? And let me show you. It's 'cause when I'm doing something cool like this, I can put them on, and it looks like that. Why wouldn't you? And to answer all the questions over and over, no, I can't get you a signed, autographed picture of Doug DeMuro or Chris Fix. I'm sorry. You're going to have to ask them. Okay, back to this. And now I'm going to start with some 400 grit wet or dry sandpaper. And I'm going to have it on a sanding block for most of the time. And this is where we're going to actually remove the top surface of the headlights, and you have to take enough off any sort of crackling, crazing, yellowing, anything like that that you can see. It has to be removed. So you got to keep going until all that is gone. Here we go. Oh, don't look in the light. This is future Scott telling you it didn't work out the way that I was hoping. Oh no. One last look before we start here. Pretty deeply pitted. And there's a lot of just crackling and stuff. Hopefully I can get down through all of this stuff. It's really rough. But hopefully I can get deep enough to not, to be able to get through all that and make it go away. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to use good quality sandpaper, 3M. It's 400 grit, so it should cut fairly good on this plastic. And I'm using a rubber 3M block for most of it. In some places I'll use my fingers, like to get up into here, but you don't want to use your fingers on all the flat spots or you end up getting waves. It's just not as good. So you need to use this. And then I use a spray bottle that I have just regular tap water, and I put 1 drop of liquid soap in it, so it helps to just make it spread a little easier when the surface tension's been removed a bit. And here we go. Better hurry, it's an emergency. And by the way, you don't want to leave this tape on for too long. Anybody that's out there that's had masking tape that's gone stale on them and been on too long, you know what I mean. It's really bad. So if you can get this done and take this tape back off in 1 day, you're good. It depends on how much sunlight it gets and the temperature and how old your tape is and the quality and all of that. So you can't say for sure how long, but the quicker you remove your tape, the better off you'll be. So if it's only on for a few hours, excellent. Excellent choice. So let's get to it. Oh yeah, look at that. Going through, and I keep wetting it down, and I've noticed that as you can really feel this 400 grit cutting, and I'm moving in a circle, careful not to get too much on an edge anywhere, but I've noticed that as it removes the top layer, and then I go to rinse it, the bad top layer rinses off kind of a yellowish amber color. And then once we go back in and remove a little bit more, the layer that's good stuff, it comes off in a very light gray. So if it's got any sort of a yellowish to it, I think that's definitely what we're trying to remove. This is after just about maybe 3 minutes with 400 grit on the sanding block. And as you can see, it's fairly much frosted it now. You can't really see the interior of the headlight at all. But if you look real close, you can still see some of that cracking in the plastic. So that's, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get down through that or not, but I'm going to try again a little bit longer. And this is the kind of thing I think where if you think you've got it done, then however long that took, well, do it again for twice that much longer, and then you're probably half done. And then you have to do the other side. So I'm going to get back to it with some more 400, and then once we switch from 400 and the next step I'll go to is 800, but after that then all we'll be doing is trying to get rid of whatever is left from the layer of sandpaper before. We're not going to be doing any more scratch correction or anything, so that all has to happen right now. This is where it's going to end up. with my 400 cutting layer. And I'm not going to quite get through all of those little tiny cracks. Those are still going to show. And there's some little ones right there that are still going to show. But I think by the time we clear this out and buff it out, it's going to look pretty good. Way better than it was. It'll be almost completely clear. Certainly hope, anyway. So now on to the other side with, I'm going to bring it up to this point with the 400, and then we'll switch to the 8, and then after that it's just going to be kind of a lot of wet sanding, so I probably won't show you anything more until it starts to look clear again. 400 to 800 to 1500, and now I'm about to switch to 3000. Then I will do a little bit of rubbing compound, and then I'll do some clear. As you can see, my paper tape has decided to abandon ship in a few places, but that's okay. I'll fix it before I do any buffing. Before I do any buffing or anything like that that's going to fling stuff around, I'm going to cover everything else on the car with some cloth or a blanket or something, so the only thing that'll be exposed is right here, so as it's flipping all that crap everywhere, it won't get all over everything else in the car, because that's a terrible mess to try to clean up in an engine compartment. Definitely want to keep this clean. Maybe I'll give this a quick cleanup right now. That's a little bit better. Not a lot better. I did say a little bit better. I've taken off all the old masking tape and put up some fresh. And then I put some fresh masking paper on it. And I'm the last step before I've cleaned them really, really good with Windex and lint-free cloth, and now right before I spray my clear, I'm going to use a professional tack cloth. This thing right here. And then I'm going to apply a coat of clear. It'd probably be better to use like a real 2-part clear coat like I used on the front bumper of the Z4, but that's really expensive, so most of us won't spend whatever that stuff costs per can. This stuff you can get at Home Depot. You know, it's UV friendly, says it's non-yellowing and it UV resistant, so the non-yellowing part is the part that's pretty good for a clear headlight like we've got. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it up and spray our clear coat, and then boy, I think the next step is going to be to take it off the jack stands and then clear all of the warnings from the computer. I almost feel like that should be a whole different, that should be the beginning of a different episode. So I'm going to do the clear, show you how it looks, and bid you adieu. Okay, you gotta kind of go real quick and light on it. Feels like you could really get it too thick real easy, and you don't want it to start running. So I'm gonna do a real light, easy coat there, and then let it flash off a little bit before I start any further coats. I like to start out with a coat of matte first, and then it gives my coat of gloss afterwards a little extra bite. At least that's how I think of it. Second coat's looking a little bit better. Okay, that's not too bad. I think I'll let it flash off again for a little bit. And, I can come around on the edges and touch here and feel how dry it is. And I'll recoat it in just a couple minutes. I'm probably going to do maybe 3 coats. Yeah, this is where I ended up. Apparently, it had a clear coat on it already that I neglected to remove. So when I added my new clear coat, it seems to have reacted a bit with the old clear coat. So it may be clear, but it's all crackled like crazy. So now I guess I'm going to have to use a paint stripper and strip it all the way back down. Which means that I'm going to have to pull these out of the car if I do it that way, I think. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. Anyway, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And the dog really wants her dinner, so. Damn it. Thanks for watching.